Welcome back. This is where I'm going to give you the ability to be your best, live your best life. And the way I do that is by teaching you things that your kids taught me over the years. I have been a mental strength coach for over 2 decades and worked with Olympians and professional athletes and down to youth and all the moms in between, right? And so for me, today's topic is all about the doing strategy. Do you guys ever we all know of a situation where things were going well and then they didn't go well. For me, it was when I was in college. In high school, I could just do my skills. I didn't have to think about school really. I got pretty good grades. Things went pretty well. And then in college, I had a lot of distractions in college and it didn't work. The doing strategy didn't work. And I flunked out of school my 3rd year of college. And I didn't know what to do. I did not respond well. I was full of shame, right? And then I started all these patterns. We'll talk about that in another video. But for me, it was like the first time the doing strategy didn't work. What was that for you? Comment below on where you got disconnected. And most people either quit or they give up or they shift gears. Most people just stop. They get so disconnected. I remember my first husband, when he was in college, he was a football player and he was super good. But he got redshirted. He got redshirted and we didn't even know what that meant. It's like he got redshirted, but it felt like he got cut. And some of those guys that got redshirted with him went on to play in the NFL, but we didn't know any better. He just quit. He quit football. Okay? So where was it for you where you got disconnected? For my daughter, thank God that when she was 9, she came home from practice. She was a gymnast, and she said to me, "Mom, Sarah asked me to do a back walk over on the high beam, and I couldn't do it." And at the time, like every other mom in the world, I said, "That's okay. Don't worry about it. You'll figure it out." And she was like, "That is not going to work." And what happens, you guys, is we all are taught to just do it. Think of athletes. Do your cartwheel, they do it. Do a round off, they do it. And then they're pretty much doing skills on the beam. A football player is taught to kick the ball, throw the ball, catch the ball, run with the ball. That's the doing strategy. But this is an unconscious process. It's not like people are aware of how they're doing it. They're just doing it. And then what happens, and it could be Simone Biles was in her 2nd Olympics when the doing strategy didn't work. My daughter was 9. Most people are somewhere in between. I was in college and the doing strategy didn't work. And so what happens is without a new place to land, without the ability for the person to understand this, typically they get disconnected and then they're stuck. And most people quit the sport, they give up on themselves, they pivot, but usually that issue carries with them the rest of their life. I didn't want that for my daughter. And so I taught her the doing strategy and the learning strategy and a circle that day. And the doing strategy is when I said to my daughter, yes, the doing strategy, Olivia, is you choosing to just do it. If you can kick your mind out and just do the doing strategy, that's an option. What that does is it takes a disempowering mentality, I'm just doing it, kind of just chucking it, to I'm gonna kick my mind out and I'm just gonna do it. It puts them in an empowering mentality. It puts them in charge of it. Okay, that is so powerful for people because when they don't know what's controlling them and how they're doing something, when things happen, if they were aware of it, they would have fixed it. They would have known what to do. Because this is an unconscious process, what happens is when they get disconnected, coaches will recognize that. They'll see them lacking confidence or balking or not able to do their skills, or they'll say they're not making the effort. they'll say all these things, but it's an unconscious process. It's not like the athlete is trying to not do that. It's not the athlete's fault. And so by understanding that this is an unconscious process, we can help children by recognizing the fact that, we need to give them a way to manage it. We need to shift the mentality so they can be in charge of what they're doing and how they're doing it. The learning strategy adds layers to that. How do you want to do it? Do you feel your way through, see your way through, talk your way through, think your way through, some kind of combination? That gives the ability. If I would have known the learning strategy when I was in college, you mean I could have stayed in my body? I could have focused on what I was doing. I could have been in charge of my thinking and my mentality. That would have saved me years of negative patterns that I created because of this issue. If I would have known A circle when I was a child, to be in my own A circle, to be able to make my own decisions and practice that. If you want your kids to work with me because they have a mental block, I do free consultations. Just connect with me. Please subscribe. Please share this if it helps. We've got to be able to help our children flip the script to understand how to manage their mindset so that they can focus on how they want to do it. That's what's going to help them wrap their head around what they're doing. And me as a 50s person now, understanding this helps me manage my life, be able to do what I want to do, understand the resources that I can use to just do the doing strategy, to use the learning strategy, to focus on how I want to manage my A circle. For me, I have to have my kids in my A circle because that's what motivates me. I'm not in my own A circle. That doesn't help me. I've lived my whole life with them in my A circle. But understanding how these things happen to us, it's an unconscious process. But it doesn't get solved by a conscious idea. We can't just say, take a big deep breath, meditate, visualize yourself doing it. That might help. It's a coping strategy. But understanding how to connect the dots from the inside out, how to manage my mind from where I'm at to where I want to go, that's what solves the problem. That's what sends the person into a connected mentality. That's what gives them the ability to stay focused on mentally what they need to do physically. That's what is going to set the motion into being mentally strong so that they can do whatever they want to do moving forward. And I can live my best life, and you can use this to support you to live your best life one thought at a time. We'll see you on the next video.